ever listen to someone speak and just feel like, I don't like the way you think or judge how they're thinking just a little bit? Well, today I'm going to tell you the 5 types of people you just can't trust, in my opinion at least, the unpopular opinion celebrity edition. Welcome back to the show, guys. Do you have your drink? You got your opinion? Okay, because I'm just going to get straight into it. 5 types of people you can't trust. Number 1, in my opinion, are people who think Jordan Woods was the victim. I know you know exactly what I'm talking about. The Jordan Woods, Khloe Kardashian, Tristan Thompson of it all. If you're unfamiliar with the situation, Khloe Kardashian's little sister's best friend, Jordan Woods, made out with her baby daddy, Tristan Thompson. Research it, Google it. You can find it more in detail. Anyone who thinks Jordan is the one who deserved an apology, who thinks Jordan is the one who needed to forgive instead of receiving forgiveness, and anyone who just thinks Jordan is not any kinds of wrong in this situation, you can't trust it. And I'm going to tell you why. I'm 100% that person who feels when a man does you wrong, it is on the man. 100%, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. But in this situation, Jordan kind of owed Khloe something. You know, Jordan wasn't a stranger. We already know Tristan to the left, problematic, should have been gone. But if it's a stranger, someone who you don't know, someone who owes you literally nothing, that's one thing. But that wasn't the case with Jordan Woods. So let me paint this picture for you on why I think Jordan was wrong in this situation. Jordan and Kylie are best friends, right? And in any other scenario, your sister's best friend probably doesn't really owe you anything. But Jordan was such an intricate part of like the family where she and Kylie literally lived together. Not only did they live together, Kylie bought her a car so they could hang out. Like they were sisters in their own right. And if you don't know, Khloe also gave Jordan one of her first, if not her very first, campaign opportunity for her to model for Good American. Okay, so it's layered, it's deep. And then not only that, I know y'all love to hate on the Kardashians. Personally, I'm a fan since the beginning. But if I'm Khloe and you're Jordan, you've been here through everything. You've been around. You've been in the inner parts of the family. You were around when this man, when I thought I found the man of my dreams. You're around when he cheats on me when I'm 9 months pregnant. You're around when the stress of finding out about that kind of pushes me into labor. You're around when I'm just dealing with all the pressures of that betrayal on its own. And for you to be such a close part of the family and then add to that betrayal, we already know Tristan ain't shit. If he did that with someone from across the street, someone we didn't know, that's one thing. But for it to be someone in your inner circle after you just have seen everything I've been through, y'all are tripping if you're saying Jordan didn't do anything wrong. And I actually don't think that people think Jordan didn't do anything wrong. I think that people will die on any hill that they don't have to be on a Kardashian side. And that's the people who, for whatever reason, y'all don't like the Kardashians, and you will find any reason to not look at reality, basically. No pun intended. When Kylie and Jordan started hanging out again, I saw people say, Jordan, don't forgive them. Jordan, don't let them back into your life. Like, are y'all okay? Do you understand that she is the one who crossed the line in this instance? And that's not to say, because I've also seen a lot of people say, it's karma. The Kardashians have, done whatever to their friends. Fair. Because, okay, if we talk about Khloe, Lauren London, Trey Songz situation, Khloe was wrong. If we talk about, a lot of situations, wrong for sure. However, these are 2 separate instances. If you can see here that Khloe was wrong, you have to be able to see here that Jordan was wrong. So the types of people who are unable to see like, yup, Khloe, you were wrong right here. Yup, Jordan, you were wrong right here. And only want to be like, yup, Khloe, you were wrong. Yup, Khloe, you were wrong. That's problematic to me. You're not really looking at the information in front of you. Again, it doesn't mean that they've never done wrong, haven't been wrong, and maybe it is karma. I don't know. But we cannot then justify the actions over here because you were mad about what happened over here. So you might be thinking, well, why shouldn't I trust this person? Well, if you or anyone you know thinks Jordyn Woods was the victim in that specific scenario, I'm diagnosing you with selective memory disorder. And what does that mean? It means you have an immediate allegiance to preference and not fact. And the most untrustworthy trait about that is you're not an independent thinker and you ignore accountability when emotions are involved. You cannot be trusted. Also, Black women and Black publications were really Jordyn's saving grace. Well, that's a story for another day. 5 types of people who cannot be trusted. Number 2. This one goes without saying. If you are a Beyonce hater, you just can't be trusted. That woman has worked her butt off since she was 9, 10 and has earned every single thing that has come away, and she still doesn't even have the respect she deserves. I'm actually so upset that Beyonce has to be Beyonce and so great in an era where she doesn't even have an ounce of competition. Can you imagine being that good and everyone else being just so We probably haven't even seen her at her actual peak because everyone around is and that's not a knock to anyone. We're just in a different generation. You know, at least even if you think Michael Jackson era, he had Prince. He had even after years, people were talking about, oh, Justin Timberlake. You know, it was constant, healthy competition. And I think that's why y'all really take that lady for granted, is because you don't have a real time and real life example of greatness, that you're not appreciating her greatness in real time. The Beyonce's overrated people. Overrated how? She's earned every single thing. She's worked for every single thing. We see the talent. We see the work. We see the dedication. We see the passion. We see the genius. And mind you, I'm not even saying you have to like Beyonce. I'm not saying you have to be part of the Beehive or her biggest fan. You can even not particularly enjoy her music as a personal choice, but what I'm saying is you cannot deny the greatness. You cannot really sit here and fix your mouth to say Beyonce is overrated. Are you okay? Can't be trusted. I'm diagnosing you with chronic achievement blindness. And what's that, you might ask? It is the inability to witness sustained excellence without developing irritation. That's you or someone you know. And the underlying trait that's most untrustworthy is these types of people are really uncomfortable with other people's greatness. They cannot be trusted. 5 types of people who cannot be trusted. Number 3, the people who keep begging Robin, Rihanna, Fenty for an album. I'm not gonna hold you. I was there for the first year or two, like, damn, Robin, give us an album. You over here trying to be the Avon lady. But on a serious note, when you really look at the situation, you just really have to appreciate it and admire it. Rihanna gave us an album almost every single year since her Mr. DJ Replay, since that debut. Every single year. And when she gave us one of the best albums of her entire body of work with Auntie, the Grammys played in her face. And not to say that, you know, that doesn't happen, but she was consistent for a very long time. Album after album, tour after tour, feature after feature. The girl was giving us the hits. And I understand that that's why people want more. However, I'm not mad at this era of her life. She's fallen in love. She has kids. She has a whole empire that she's probably making more money off of than if she had to make music with less strain on her body, okay? Because you have to think about it. When you're making music and you're touring, you have to be working out. You have to be in tip-top shape. You have to travel a lot. You have to be in the studio. Your hours, your time, all of that is really being consumed. And right now, she can really just sit back and have the same type of success. Wouldn't you choose that? You know, like, she maybe has to pick up a phone call, go to a couple meetings, you know, do a couple appearances here and again, but it's not equally the same type of commitment you have to have as a musician. And I'm not mad at it. She's evolved. And we really have to celebrate that. For any person who's worked hard and gets to a point in life where they could just really enjoy the fruits of their labor, why are we mad at that? Like, it's about quality of life, guys. And in my mind, how this happened is, you know, when she met the billionaire, the guy she was dating, the heir to Toyota, she was around that and said, oh, this is how you're living? This is how I can live without taking my body through everything and my life, my mind through everything, touring? She was taking notes. She said, okay. She was, in my mind again, she was exposed to a different level of comfort, a different level of a luxury, a different level of access that didn't require her to go as hard. She said, oh, I like this, Hassan. And maybe he helped her figure things out, maybe he didn't, but something in her clicked during that era when she was dating that billionaire man. She said, yep, I'm not going back. And I love that for her because we haven't seen any type of music from her since. If someone can build a $1 billion empire, raise their family, live their life, and you're still yelling, but the album! You just don't respect evolution. And people are allowed to evolve. And like I said, I get it if you felt like, Robin, give us an album like, the first year or two. But after that, it's been 10 years, guys. Let it go. Let it go. If you or anyone you know is still begging Rihanna for an album 10 plus years later, you can't be trusted. And I'm going to tell you why. I'm diagnosing you with entitlement. And that just means that you have difficulty accepting that people can evolve beyond the role you discovered them in. If thought of that. And your most untrustworthy trait is that you view growth as abandonment and you have entitlement disguised as fandom. Yup. Sip on that too. And you definitely cannot be trusted. 5 types of people you can't trust. Number 4, anyone who has a problem with Lori Harvey's dating life. She's a young, cute girl dating in her 20s, having her way. Why are you mad at that? She's doing what she's supposed to do. She's not just out here having babies. She's not in any drama. She's really just living life. Like, she's not settling just to say she has a man. We'll talk about that another day too. But the girl's really just living life. Why are we mad at that? Move on. Dating is information. She's learning what she likes, what she doesn't like, her non-negotiables. It's learning before you make that full-on commitment. And I know that there are people like, okay, but she played with Michael. He was a good guy. We don't know that. Not saying Michael B. Jordan's not a good guy. However, just because Michael B. Jordan was the perfect guy for her in public doesn't mean he was the perfect guy for her in private, okay? And even if he was all the things and more, it doesn't mean he is her guy or she is his girl. You feel me? I've said this before. A good guy doesn't mean he's your guy. We'll talk about that another day too. But generally, some of these things you just don't learn unless you're in the field. And Lori is doing what she's exactly supposed to do. And anyone who has a problem with it, you got to figure out what's that within yourself. So if you or someone you know has a problem with Lori's dating life, I'm diagnosing you with projection with a hint of settling. Not ready for that conversation, are you? So this is basically the belief that women's choices should, 1, be explainable to strangers, and 2, be on a timeline that makes you comfortable. And your underlying trait that can't be trusted is that you might have some discomfort with women having autonomy. It's as simple as that. You have emotional discomfort when a woman dates freely without narrating her decisions for public approval. And you, boyfriend, cannot be trusted. 5 types of people who cannot be trusted. Number 5, anyone who thought Ciara was corny for dating Russell Wilson after Future, or anyone who thought Russell Wilson was corny. Gosh, I remember on Twitter like it was yesterday. It was like, how could she? Future is Future. Russell is corny. He's a square. All these things. And I didn't forget. Y'all were going hard for Future. Maybe because you were fans of his music and he was popping back then. But you have to be able to decipher, guys, a good man and one who's maybe not the best man for you. I'm not gonna forget, guys. Y'all want to see her to be in those pictures standing in formation with the baby mamas so bad. And it ruffled a lot of people's feathers when she chose peace over Future. That needs to be studied. And there's honestly not much to dissect about this, but if you in your mind, whether you're a man or woman, you thought Future was a better man for Sierra, you just can't be trusted. And that's not a knock to Future, and that's not, anything of the sort. That's just common sense. Future was on his rock star vibe. He had multiple women who have his kids. Like, he was living a different type of lifestyle that cannot give you the type of peace, the type of stability, the type of security a different man can give you, whether it was Russell or someone else. He just wasn't in that space yet, and maybe he's evolved. Maybe he's that person now. But anyone who, as that was happening, was dragging Sierra or dragging Russell, yeah, I judge your way of thinking. And I'm diagnosing you with chaos dependency. And what that is you trust intensity more than consistency, and you call healthy relationships boring. Anyone who calls healthy relationships boring, immediate red flag. And the underlying trait that's most untrustworthy is you confuse dysfunction with passion. So you cannot be trusted. And I know I said 5, but I'm going to quickly give you a bonus one, because anyone who admires Carrie Bradshaw for anything beyond her fashion, you definitely can't be trusted. She's got bad judgment. She's not a good friend. She's toxic. She's childish. And she's self-centered, and not in a self-love kind of way. I'm not explaining that one any further, at least not today. So I'll diagnose you then. Thank you guys so much for watching. That concludes the 5 types of people that cannot be trusted, in my opinion at least. So if you agree or disagree with any of the takes, I'd love to hear from you. Comment below or send me a voicemail and change my mind if you can. I don't think you can in this situation, because I feel very strongly about this, but hey, I'd love to see you try. Listen, part of trusting people is being mindful of their way of thinking, okay? Do with that what you will, but thank you so much for watching today, and I'll see you next week. Cheers! Until next time. Mwah.
How about that? Bring it on back. Look where we
All thoughts and opinions are my own and not reflective of any persons or organizations I'm affiliated with.